Alright, ready? 1, 2, whoa. Putting my arms up apparently makes everything blow out. Okay, ready? Oh, 2, 3. Hello everybody and welcome to episode 7 of CostuMoms. As always, I'm Amber.
I'm Cait. How many times is this gonna happen?
Whoa. I think we should keep that in there. Because that's too funny. Oh, it's been a week, guys. It's been a week. Yeah, so this week we're talking about event anxiety, and I guess that kind of plays into it. Being ready on time.
I'm having an anxiety attack even now.
Oh no! So everybody's dealing with anxiety for different reasons right now, and because, you know, some things might be opening up for some of you, or you might be thinking about hosting your own very small, even like a socially distant something. These are things we all have to worry about, so we'll be talking about that later on. But before we get started, how are you, Cait?
I mean, I'm great.
Oh, I just spit all over myself. Oh, gross. Anyway, sorry to interrupt.
I'm okay. This week is one of those weeks where I have the longest possible to-do list, and so every hour of my day is like pretty much planned out. It's kind of insane. But I'm getting a lot done, and I'm checking off a lot of things, which is very exciting because
That's good.
Yeah. So I'm okay. I'm a little bit frazzled, if that wasn't already clearly obvious, but yeah, I'm all right.
Well, you look beautiful.
Oh,
So don't
thank
worry
you.
about it.
How are you doing?
This has not been a great week for me. So I'm just trying to keep trudging forward and try to get stuff done as much as I can, despite everything seeming like it's against me this week. I don't know what it is. I don't even have that big of a to-do list. It's just weird. So
That
yeah,
sucks.
and I think everybody's feeling it too with all of like the election stuff.
Yeah.
Hovering over the COVID stuff, which is hovering over like just how you are. Like it's just like all of these layers, and it sucks.
Yeah, I was reading an article about like 6 months into any like major disaster, you hit a wall, and I think a lot of us have hit that wall. Because I've heard multiple people say this week is going horribly. It's only Wednesday. But like last week too was awful for me. I was doing one thing all week and it took me all week. And I think we're just kind of like, you're kind of in that spot now where it's like, it's just one major thing, or little things too, but like, it's just a lot. It's a lot.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, for me, I have one thing that, and I guess we'll get into that for the whip report. We might as well go into it. So I have done nothing that I've wanted to for my whip report. Or as a whip report, there's nothing that I've done. It's all been work stuff, and that has been supremely frustrating for me because I've been planning on getting ahead and doing this corset project, which I started a mock-up one night when I couldn't sleep, and I want to get it done. Like I want to at least get to the next spot, and I'm trying to like experiment with vlogging and vlogging styles. So it's not only that, but it's like on the creative side of filming. That's kind of what I want to go, and I can't because of this pattern. And it should have been done last week, so I bumped it to yesterday.
And here
Let
we
me tell
are.
you guys. If you are a mom and if you are trying to do your own like thing for money, it's very difficult to, or like working from home, I guess, not thing for money. Working at home and having any sort of business is really hard to juggle. Both of us are in this kind of space. And for me, I just keep getting hit with the fact that I can't escape anything if it's during the daytime. So I'm supposed to have 2 days of work, or like work time, and on average, I maybe get 6 hours. It should be 2 8-hour days, and it never ends up being like that. There's a lot of reasons for that, but it's been very discouraging for me, so that plays into my headspace right now. So I've been working on this pattern, which would have only taken me 4 days maybe. Because like when you're in the mode, things go quickly.
Right.
But if I keep doing this start and stop, I can only work on it for an hour here, an hour there, 2 hours, or only from midnight to 3 in the morning. It doesn't get done very fast.
Yeah.
So anyway, PSA for any of you guys trying to do that, it's very, very hard. Stick through it because you'll get it done, but it's very discouraging. So that's my whip report. Sad day for me, but anyway, what about you? What are you working on?
Officially,
Lift me up.
officially, I'm working on more housewife kits and assembling my embroidered garters kits because they start going out tomorrow.
Okay.
So all the pre-orders are being systematically thread wrapped and like put everything in bags and things. And it's weirdly time consuming. But anyway, cutting out housewife kits, I've got piles and piles and piles and piles of things that look like this. But I also decided I need a new gown for a thing on Sunday. Because why not? And originally I was going to do this like gray, it's like sheer gray. I don't know.
Oh, it's really pretty.
Yeah, we got this in LA on our little excursion to the fabric district, and I've been planning this since then. But then I was like, oh, but also I have sparkly dots.
Ooh,
So
is that B&T sparkly dots or a different one?
This, yeah, B&T. It's their gold sparkly spotted muslin.
Okay.
Either way, I'm making like a drawstring 1790s long sleeve basic dress.
Okay.
And I don't know which one to use because I was planning to cut that out this morning, and then I just sort of looked at the fabric and froze.
Right.
So, but either way, that's my actual like project that I'm going to work on. I'm going to cheat and machine sew most of the inside just to make it go quicker because
Well, you're on a tighter deadline. So.
I'm on a tight deadline. I have 8,000 work things to do. Also, I have school to do, so it's just kind of like.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, but it'll be hand finished. No one will ever know.
Yep, shortcuts. They're nice.
Yep,
they're nice sometimes.
Yeah, but this is my first like event. It's not even really an event, but it's 4 people. It's a 2-person bubble and a 2-person bubble coming together to make a 4-person bubble, and it's stressing me out because I saw you for a couple of hours, and I've seen Lauren a couple of times, but that's it. Like that, I haven't seen other humans for real.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, and that plays into our topic.
It does.
Good segue. Yeah. So with event anxiety, it's a real thing, and so like you're dealing with not only event anxiety of like the getting ready and whatnot, but also the COVID anxiety.
Yeah.
So as an introvert, like what does event anxiety look like for you aside from COVID and quarantine?
So it's a really strange thing because I'm never actually stressed about anything specific, with the exception being that one Pimpernel dinner where that was my first event and I had no idea what was happening. I was just a disaster. But for me, generally, it's almost just like the anticipation sets off my adrenaline, and so I'm shaky and I'm just nervous and my heart rate's going nuts, and I'm just like, what are you even doing? Why are we freaking out? But I'm freaking out because I guess it's social anxiety, but not really.
Okay.
Because I'm not actually worried, but my body seems to be super worried. So for me, it's like a physical reaction. I still do all the things I need to do. I'm usually on time, with the exception of that same dinner where my stays ripped open, like an hour.
I didn't know that happened.
That's why I was 30 minutes late.
Oh.
My stays split. I was on time. Everything was doing great. I laced into my, and it's my fault because they were bad. Like, they were in bad shape. And I was like, I don't have time to fix these because I was making a dress for the event.
Right.
So I left the stays alone, and I should have fixed them because they split down the back panel. So I spent 20 minutes whipping them very grossly back together, and that's why I was late. So panic, anxiety, sewing before an event is not recommended. So, like, if that means making a dress when you don't actually have time or any of that stuff, that doesn't help. And I think the only way that I've been able to go to an event with my introvert, weird social anxiety is if I'm very prepared. Okay. And, like, I start early. So I'm not super stressed about this particular thing. I know that I can do a dress in a day, so this isn't actually freaking me out.
Okay.
But I'm trying to, like, I put on my to-do list, on this day I'm going to do the dress. On this day I'm going to test my hair. And, like, just sort of easing into it, I've noticed, has really helped me. Okay. If I try to do all these things the day before, it's going to be bad.
Right.
So, I'm rambling, so please direct me.
No, but they're all things that just, it all plays into it. So, like, for me, it's a very different experience. I end up turning into super busybody, and as most people know, if you talk to me about what you're working on or whatever, I get so excited for you and your project that I just start, like, throwing ideas out there. It's not because I think you should do them. It's just that my brain is now like, all of the things, and it just, like, so what ends up happening for me is I get so excited about what I'm going to do. I love looking forward to plans. So if I see, in 3 weeks, I'm going to do this thing, I start making these grandiose plans of stuff that I'm going to make, and I start them. And then I rarely ever finish them in time. Or I'm doing this whole all-nighter, or I'm late. And as anybody can attest, that has lived with me or that's gone to an event with me, I am almost always 30 minutes late, if not an hour. And it kills me every time because I've been looking forward to this event. They're usually not even longer than like 4 hours total, and I'm an hour late. It's so frustrating. You have a friend.
I have a dog, yeah. She would like me to know that dinner time is in 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The warning bell has rung.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I usually don't, like, start feeling actual anxiety until I've realized that I have played myself into a corner.
Yeah.
So, like, I had a little bit of the social anxiety stuff for the last few events that I'd gone to, because it was the first time I'd gone and I didn't know the people that were going. So, you know, that plays into it. But for the most part, I just end up putting way too much on my plate. And then it all just fizzles out. And I've done an all-nighter, and I feel like I look terrible in the photographs. Like, I don't want to, like, 15 minutes before I don't want to go. I don't know if this has ever happened to you, or like, I wonder if they'll cancel it.
Yeah, oh yeah. That's a really normal introvert social anxiety thing to do. Okay. Please rain, please anything happen to make me not have to go.
Right.
And like, originally when my stays split, I was like, oh cool, I don't have to go now. But I was going to be really disappointed if I didn't. And that's the thing that you kind of have to push past, because most of the time it's worth going.
Right.
Like, yeah. So you just got to jump over that ridiculous mental hurdle or physical hurdle and just be like, be quiet, get over it, move on. You're going to have a great time, you know. But I remember that at costume college, we were both scrambling right before every single thing. And it was like, that didn't help anything.
Well, no, and like I had done a test run of the orange pet and layer dress that I did, or no, it was a pet and layer. But anyway, I'd done a test run before. Like I had worn that outfit before. There was really nothing to worry about when it came to getting ready for it, but somehow we still ended up late.
Yeah. Why was that? I think we just, I don't know.
Well, I have some like things, like after we kind of get over the what anxiety means and different things that play into it, that I know of some ways to get over that being late part.
Okay.
I just have to do them. So we'll talk about that in a minute.
That's the struggle. Yeah.
Yeah. There are definitely ways to do it, but so some of the things that play into the anxiety that, going to an event, one of the big ones, at least for me, is imposter syndrome. And this will be a whole nother episode of just imposter syndrome.
We have a lot of thoughts about that one.
There are, oh my gosh. But that is probably the biggest thing that has rung true for almost every event that I've gone to.
Yeah, that's fair.
Is that I am afraid that people will look at me and think, oh, she's not at all what she portrays herself to be online. Or she has no business being at this event. And it's so weird that that's like,
yeah,
just humming in there. Do you feel those same like feelings?
100%, yeah. And I think that's probably, even for people that have tens of thousands of followers, I'm guessing they probably feel that too. Because imposter syndrome has nothing to do with how much you actually do deserve to be there or to be seen. It has nothing to do with that. It's entirely in your head. Because and I was just talking to a friend the other day about, like, the more you know, the less you think you know about stuff. So it's really just a thing that we all deal with. Definitely. And it's really gotten me in trouble a lot, where I've said I won't go to things because I'm like, I don't deserve to be with those people. And that's a bummer, because then you get FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yeah.
But yeah,
FOMO's a real thing too.
Yeah. So yeah, for sure.
I get it so bad. Yeah, imposter syndrome it's heightened with all of the things that we see online. Like, I don't think that I would feel imposter syndrome if we were back to just the blogging days.
Probably not.
Like, it would be a lot less, I think, without that constant, basically putting yourself out there to everybody on earth.
And it's also, there's great things like Silly Seventh, right, where we all act ridiculous, but for the most part, it's all very curated. So we're only seeing everyone looking amazing. So I think we all have imposter syndrome. And if we don't, bully for you, but I don't know. It seems really common.
Right.
So that can be...
It definitely does.
That's definitely something that can drive your anxiety, and it's definitely something that drives mine. I don't even know if I notice it most of the time. It's just like that physical anxiety for me. It's probably all of those things just kind of subconsciously kicking my butt.
Right. So how do you, this is kind of the third thing, how do you deal with it? Like, if you know that an event is coming up, do you just flail? Like, do you just end up getting hit by it and always feeling kind of sideswiped and like, oh my god, I can't, just gotta go? Or have you started, having gone to different events more often, have you started to realize different things, and what are they, I guess, that ease that anxiety for you?
I have learned that no matter what you're wearing, or if your outfit is perfect, first of all, no one's gonna notice. Unless you do that thing where someone's like, oh, I love your dress, and you go, oh, it's awful. Don't do that. Because everyone does that. But anyway, no one's gonna notice this stuff, so that can kind of ease the the imposter syndrome a little bit for me, is because I know, having been to a bunch of events now, I know most of the time people don't care, like, about your stuff. They're worried about their own stuff.
Right, because they're thinking the same thing.
Exactly. Another thing is, I think you wanted to mention this. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this yet. I don't know. But
go ahead.
Being, like, allowing yourself to rewear something is really helpful to me. I need to possibly not ever take pictures of my purple open cutaway. Why can't I speak? Purple silk dress. I wear it all the time. But, like, I don't care. Like, at this point, if someone's like, okay, we're getting together, we're doing 1780s, I'm just going to put that dress on and then go with it.
Okay.
Because it's a lot of the time you always feel like you need to have a new thing for every event. And I'm literally doing that for Sunday. But I'm doing it because I don't have anything in cotton or linen for this time period, and I really don't want to sit on the ground in silk. So it's less about, like, oh, I have to have something new, and more about, I don't want to wash silk. So,
yeah.
But generally, knowing that I can rewear things is useful. Knowing that everyone else is freaking out about their own stuff is useful for me. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I think that's a big key one, is knowing that everybody else feels that in some way. And as we've said before, you're there to have fun. So letting all of that kind of consume you, it's a very real thing. But to let go of it, that's a nice way of, like, telling yourself to, like, chill out.
I mean, it kicked my butt for my very first 1790s event. Like, I was panicked because I didn't hand sew my dress. And I was like, someone's going to know that I didn't. And they're going to judge me, and I'm never going to be invited back to this. It was like a special society thing.
Okay.
You know what happened at that event, ladies and gentlemen? Almost everyone was wearing entirely machine-sewn costumes. Some people had rented them. And everyone had a blast because nobody cared at all. But I spent a week ahead of time freaking out. And it was ridiculous. So, like, I feel like the more I go to events, the more I learn that it doesn't actually matter what you do. Like, we all
as
just
long as
need
you're
to,
not mean.
Right, no, I don't mean, like, actually
You'll be fine.
I mean, like, getting ready is not necessarily as big of a problem as we all make it out to be. Because even, honestly, I've had situations where my friends are all dressed in gorgeous 20s costumes, and I wore a dress from Target, and I had a blast.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it's the people that you have met, and you all have stuff in common still. You all still like weird oldie-timey clothes. You still like weird old stuff. It doesn't really matter what you're actually wearing.
Right. Yeah, as long as you're there to have a good time.
Yep.
Like, yeah, and don't be the person that is now going to everybody else and being a stitch counter or some other derogatory term, because that is the antithesis of what everybody is there for.
Yeah.
It's not a costume competition.
It really isn't. It feels like it is, but it isn't.
Yeah. Sometimes it can. Costume college kind of felt like that.
It definitely felt like a costume competition.
But I wouldn't say that. I don't know if I've been to another place where that's been the case. Even at balls, like, I don't ever feel like...
Yeah. Reenactments are a little bit like that. Only because it's like... It depends on the reenactment. And we've talked about that before. Where it's like, it depends on the people. But for your run-of-the-mill costume event, it doesn't matter.
Now, for the one that's coming up for you, like, what are kind of the requirements? I think people will find it interesting. At least.
The requirements are 1790s. End of list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
wow,
that's it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's because it's just a couple of us, and it was a last minute, hey, do you guys want to come sit outside and have tea?
Okay.
So those are my favorites because I already know these people. You know, it's very low key, and it's not like, oh my gosh, what if I don't do the thing? But really the requirements are just, it's 1790s.
Okay.
And I know for a fact that the hostess has an opinion that hemming things by hand is a waste of time, and that makes me feel better. Because, like, that's the kind of people that it is. It's just they're like, they want to look good, but they're not going to freak out about it, I think.
That's good. That's a nice way to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, the things that I have figured out for events, like to try and combat any sort of like anxiety that I have, is planning. Like it is all on planning and then letting it go. So part of planning is doing a test run. And, you know, if you haven't worn a dress, most of us wear like one outfit maybe 2 days a year, right?
Yeah.
And we don't live in our costumes. You could, but we don't. So if you haven't put it on in a year and you put it on and then you realize, oh, I don't like how I look in this, do that at least a month ahead of time. At least.
Yep.
Because then there will be things that if you need to buy something that will make you feel better about how you look or whatever, you will have time to get it in the mail. If you need to make something, you might have enough time to scrounge something together for that. But do a test run if you can. And this includes makeup and hair.
Yeah.
And take a photo of yourself too.
Yeah.
Like because like different people have different reasons for going to a costume event.
Yeah.
Some people don't care about the pictures or whatever. For me, I've put so much time into the costume itself that I want good pictures to document it.
Yeah.
So, and I've got kind of in my video plans of like some different hair and makeup hacks to make that look period authentic, but also good for pictures. So like knowing how like, okay, I look like this in this photo. I don't like this type of eyeliner. That's stuff that you want to know before you put it on.
Yeah.
For instance, now this is very much an aside, but it's makeup related. So I went to Walmart this week, and I was like, oh, different colors of eyeshadow. Now, I have on some of these, and I'm not going to show the brand, but anyway, they had this cool color palette. And so I was like, oh, I love all of these colors. Look at those colors. Those are so cool. So today, before this, didn't do a test run, put it on and realized these kind of look like zombie colors. Like the colors that I have kind of make me look a little bit dead. Like I don't like how I look on camera. Why? It's literally called Mummy of the Year. If I would have done this for any sort of like event and decided, oh yeah, I'm gonna try out this new like color palette, I would have been hella sad about the photos of this. Because like, it doesn't look terrible, but this is not how I would want to look and be presented in photos with a costume. So yeah, always do a test run if you can, and do it early. Always do it early, because in a month's time, your weight isn't going to necessarily fluctuate enough to make a difference if you start to alter your gown for the size that you are then. And then you figure out what you need. And then the other thing, like you said, is just letting it go and allowing yourself to just rewear stuff.
Yeah. But check it first.
Yeah, check it first.
Because you may have worn it to a previous event and forgot, oh, there's a repair I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, or stays.
Or you might realize that for what other people, like if you want a cohesive group of people that are in certain styles, if you're really particular about that kind of thing and you like wear it and then you're like, oh wait, like the accessories that I did the last time that I wore this are totally different than what other people are doing or what the time period for this is supposed to be, or just in general what you're going for. So then like you can rewear something and then just put different things with it.
Yep.
Like
change up the style of your accessories and you've got sometimes you have a different decade.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, you can do that with caps. Like if your hair is different, you can wear basically the same cap from 1770 to the 1790s. Your hair is just a little bit different, so it sets differently, trim it differently.
Like my favorite cap I have one cap. Like,
Really?
that's a problem. Yeah. I literally have the cap that you made me.
Huh.
So I have to make it work for every single time period until I get off my butt and make another one.
It totally works, though. And that's so cool.
I changed the ribbon and my hair.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yeah, so like allowing yourself to rewear that stuff and knowing that like other people are striving for that too. There's a lot of costumers that are trying to be more conscious of how we affect the world and how the world affects us.
Yep.
So the idea of like rewearing, remaking, upcycling, all of those things are good to keep in mind. And I love seeing side by sides of the same basic like outfit, just outfitted differently.
Yeah.
I love seeing those. I think it's so much fun, and it's also historically accurate. So if that's the thing that you're going for, then that's what you should just do. Like, just let it go.
Just do the thing.
But yeah, event anxiety is definitely something that you can work through. And if you find other people that feel the same way, start having like little pacts with them. Like, if you know that somebody else is going to an event, the same one as you, both do like have a fun. Right now everybody's doing Zoom calls for everything. You could totally do a Zoom call like test run and discuss it with your friend even if they can't be there. To talk about kind of what you can do to make it better, or you know, stitch session type of thing.
Hey Amber, do you want to have a Zoom call and help me with hair?
Totally.
Oh my gosh. No, that's a really good idea. We have to adapt in this weird world because event anxiety is one thing, but then COVID is a whole new.
Yeah, like, do you wear a mask when you're in your historically accurate costume? Like, that's one thing, because I've not done anything yet. Is that something that I would even want to do? Because I put on makeup. Like, I don't ever not go, or I always put on makeup when I'm in a historical event. Even if I'm supposed to be a person at lowest on the totem pole. I do not want to look back at my pictures and think, oh.
Yeah, I know a bunch of people just went out to the market fair at Mount Vernon like 2 weeks ago, 1 week, I don't know what day it is, but they all wore masks with their costumes and then took them off for pictures.
Okay.
But that would drive me insane. Like, how do you get a mask on over your head? Like, that doesn't sound ideal to me. So there's that. And the only reason that this thing on the weekend is going to work is because we are two bubbles being super careful and we're outside. So I don't know that masks are going to be a thing. I hope they are inside. I don't know. So I'm anxious about that.
Yeah. Well, I'm anxious about it too. So like the only thing I know that's coming up is a friend of mine who has also been quarantining about the same amount as we have. She's coming over and we're going to do a cute little picnic with the girls. And, like, I'm not worried about it with her, but, like, if I were to take the girls with me to a socially distanced event, it would just be so weird to navigate with the masks and everything. And, like, and just, like, knowing that I can't totally control it all and making sure that, like, said kid does not run up to another person and then sneeze on them.
Right. That's like a whole other thing with the kids at events in general. But like right now, you couldn't pay me to take my kid anywhere.
Right.
And then I also I feel bad leaving her here though.
Well, that's what I was just gonna say. Is that like I feel so awful. I would feel so awful if I were to dress up and then go to this thing and like have fun, even if it's a mommy day. It's like an excuse for me to be gone. She'll be like, but I want to, but I want to go, mommy, because she doesn't do anything either.
Yeah,
it's all lame.
I'm not feeling very good about this particular one. Usually I events are really rare for me in general.
Mm.
So by the time an event is coming, I don't have a whole lot of guilt about leaving her behind to go do my own thing. But for this particular one, I feel really bad because she's been stuck in here too. And now I get to go outside.
Right. You guys will have to schedule something where you do your own little mommy-daughter picnic.
Yeah.
But that's another thing to do.
Yeah, I really enjoy taking her out, like, around, like, the historic district. Like, that's, in Williamsburg, it's really fun, but not right now. Right. Because guess who's not wearing masks? Everyone.
Oh, really?
We went to Colonial Williamsburg the other day because I wanted to pick up something for a friend, and I'm thinking, it'll be fine. We're all outside, we're all wearing masks, except you're not wearing masks outside.
Huh.
It's all just a free-for-all.
Right.
So I had
6-month mark and nobody cared anymore.
Right. It's over now. And so I had plans to take my daughter up there and take pictures with her upcoming Felicity dress. Mm. That's not going to happen.
Aww.
Like, I'm not taking her in that city right now.
Right.
And I'm really sad because she wants to go, but that's not even related to event anxiety. That's just like the state of the world.
Yeah, I think it's worth talking about, though. Just because everything is odd and it plays into the event anxiety stuff.
Right, like there are a lot of levels of anxiety for so many different things. Like, you can be anxious about the traffic on the way there. Like, it really doesn't. There's always something. Right. Even if you don't have social anxiety, even if you're worried about like imposter syndrome, like leaving your shell of a place where you live and going to another place can be stressful. Mm-hmm. Regardless of the situation. So when it's like all of the situations, that's not good.
Right. So here we are. Yeah, well, we can wrap it up. There's lots of rambling, of course, because like there's no clear-cut answer to any of this because it affects everyone so vastly different. But yeah, my inspiration recommendation to get yourself kind of out of any sort of like anxiety stuff that you might be thinking is research. So one of my favorite places to go to research is this gallica.bnf.fr. I'll put all of this in the bottom, but it's a digital library where they have tons and tons and tons of archived books, publications, and what have you. And a lot of it is from some really, really, really old stuff. And so one that I really like to look through is its little kids' clothing from like 1811. I think it's 1811. It's early 1800s, Regency era, and it's so cute to see these like depictions of these roly-poly infants and toddlers, like in these weird poses too. Like sometimes they're like, or whatever, or you see like how like chunky their legs are, which is just so cute with babies. But anyway, yeah, Gallica. I love going to Gallica and researching stuff because I'm a research nerd. I love to research. I do it about all the stuff. So, yeah, that's my inspiration rec. It's a little less like sparkly than some of the ones that we've done before. But we've also we were really super excited to put together the last episode of all of our favorite films that we've done. So if there are other sorts of topics that you guys would like us to do, be it lists, be it whatever, please let us know. Comment, let us know, because we want more things to do.
We actually do, though.
We do.
Like, we actually thrive on stress.
Chaos.
Chaos. That's what I was looking for.
Yes, because we're both like on the chaotic side, where we've aligned. But
yes.
But yeah, please let us know. And also, in closing, check us out on our respective social medias. We, as always, will just kind of link you in the bottom. I don't even feel like I need to say mine. But the other thing too is when this comes out, we will be 1 month away from the big Super Duper Tuesday. So please vote. Vote early if you can. Vote by mail if you can. It's very important. And we're not going to tell you who to vote for, of course, but vote in your local elections. Vote, vote, vote. It's important. That'll make me happy.
I voted today, actually.
Yay! How fitting. But anyway, sorry to bludgeon you over the head with that, but I'm going to anyway.
I'm not sorry.
But we will talk to you guys later. And again, comment, tell us what you thought, and how event anxiety might affect you. So, anyway.
Yes.
Talk to you later. Bye.